The title of Garrett's speech is The No Flu Syndrome. Let's welcome Garrett.
Alright, so I'm the type of person who likes to practice my speech. And I was driving in the car the other day and I'm sitting there and I'm practicing my speech and I'm really getting into it. And I mean, I'm getting into it, I've got hand gestures and I'm yelling at the door and I'm yelling at the window and I'm yelling at everything. And all of a sudden I'm at a stop sign and I'm really getting into it. And then I look over and there's a guy going, and then all of a sudden he starts going, look at this, look at this, look at this. So it's kind of funny, you know, when you're trying to practice your speech, you get kind of a little bit of feedback from somebody beside you that doesn't really know what's going on. So millions of people today are suffering from no flu syndrome. You see them when you pass them on the street. You see them when you're in the office. And you see them wherever you go. At first glance, you would think, they look happy. They look like they're living great, fulfilling lives. But if you look a little deeper, you might find out that they're suffering. Occasionally, you catch a little glimpse of it. You see them lash out at somebody. You see somebody angry at you for no reason. I first recognized the no flu syndrome when I was younger. My parents were the type of parents who would go to work all day, work their butts off, and come home, and they'd be exhausted. They'd hate what they're doing with their lives. They'd come home, they'd lash out at me, they'd lash out at each other. It was affecting their marriage, it was affecting my relationship with my parents, and they felt like they were overworked and underpaid. How many can relate to that experience? Okay, so a lot of you in the room. I was fortunate enough that my parents were smart enough to take me and take themselves and start getting educated. We started going to seminars. We started seeing speakers like Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, John C. Maxwell. And in a young life that I had, I finally realized that I could do something in my life. It was my first time that I realized that I was able to do something more. And my dad told me, and I'll never forget this, he said, son, your generation will never have to go through what my generation has been through. You guys are smarter, you're going to school, you're doing the things necessary in life. And I thought that's good because I don't want to end up like that, that's for sure. And so I just got a job at Campus Bookstore within the past year, and I was working there. And it was around the end of the year, and all the graduates who just got their degree were coming up to get their cap and gowns. And I'm sitting here as a cashier at the register, and they're coming up, and I'd say, congratulations. You know, 4 years, you invested time, money, and energy. You know, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do with your degree? I have no clue. And it wasn't just one or two people. It was most of them. Now this is scary, folks. This is the future generation here. At that point in time, I felt disappointed in what my dad told me. The worst response I ever heard was this guy who comes up and he says, I want to do accounting. And I'm like, great, finally, somebody knows what they're doing. And I'd ask, you know, so what's great about accounting? What do you like about it? You know, what are you passionate about it? He says, you know, to be honest with you, I hate accounting. He said, I'm only doing it because my dad told me to. I like art. That's what I'm really passionate about. Kind of polar opposite, don't you think? And so at that point in time, I kind of looked in and I'm like, I gotta do a little research on this. And I found out that undeclared is the biggest major in the country. What is going on? Why are our youth being brought up this way? I started working at a high school just towards the end of the year. And I was relaying this to one of the teachers, the high school teachers, and I said, look, I don't know what's going on. Why are a lot of students not knowing? Do they know in high school? A lot of your students, do they know? And she said, to be honest with you, the reason they don't know is because we don't teach enough self-reflection in school. We don't teach people how to learn about themselves, how to think about what they want. And I said, why don't they? And she said, how do you grade that? Our curriculum doesn't grade whether or not you know what you want in life. No, we want math, we want science, we want English, we want to get you in, get you educated, we can mold and shape you into, get you out. And as a result, a lot of kids later on in life are turning out a lot like my parents are. Hating what they do, not liking the way their lives are turning out. It's like they've been told a lie. Go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and you'll be successful. But we all know that's not true. Now, I'm not doubting education. I believe that every single person should get educated in some way, shape, or form. Learning is a lifelong process, not just this little one-time experience you go through college and that's it. But there's a lot of people who haven't read a book in a decade. I mean, it was great that one of our speakers tonight had a book, because that is how you change people, is with education. But you also educate them about themselves, not just about science, not just about math. Teach about you. That's what you need to learn. Now, how do we do this? How do we go about doing this? Well, it starts in this room. The action you can take from here is go around the people around you, hand them a book. Talk to them about what they want to do with their lives. Give them a little more than what they're thinking, because I guarantee you they're only thinking on the surface level. They're thinking outside affects me on the inside. It doesn't work that way. You work from the inside out. I want to leave you with something. And the quote is by Waldo Emerson. He once said, when your vocation becomes your vacation, you've mastered your life. And I believe that 100%. Find passion. Find what you love to do. And then get the education with it. You want to be a doctor? Find out what they're doing. Find out the way they're living. And if you're passionate about it, then go to school. Then get the education, because that's going to drive you. You're going to show up in class. Thank you. I want to appreciate your time. It was great speaking with you.